They did it. Britain has officially crossed the Brexit finish line, and the UK will be out of the EU in just 8 days. What an absolutely hard-won victory for the British people, and indeed for nationalist populists everywhere. Brexit has been a bit of a rallying cry for the nationalist populist movements around the world, rather similar to the Yellow Vest Uprising in Paris. So we're going to look at the latest news coming out of Britain and what to expect for UK independence in the days ahead. You're going to love it. Greetings, everyone. It's absolutely wonderful to be with you. As always, if this is your very first time here, this channel is really your daily white pill of encouragement. We post 2 videos a day analyzing current events in light of super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. And so make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button if you haven't already done so. You are not going to want to miss a single video analyzing the collapse of globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. And nothing signals that age more right now than Brexit. But before we get into the details of what's going on and what to expect, let's give a huge shout out to the sponsor of this video, and that's collagen, available at healthwithsteve.com. Now, if you don't know, collagen may be the closest thing we'll ever get to a real fountain of youth. I mean, there are many health experts now that agree that consuming collagen is crucial as it gets to renew and revitalize how you look and feel. Taking collagen regularly can revitalize your body, make your skin, bones, and even your hair look and feel more healthy and youthful. Now, if you're interested in learning more about collagen and getting your own supply, then visit healthwithsteveturley.com or just click on the link below and check it out. You'll be certainly glad that you did. All right, so we have a lot of news to talk about today, but I think the most significant in terms of the fruits of the labors of a hard-won battle is the final passage of Brexit in the House of Lords. So if you didn't know, the government's bill implementing the withdrawal deal has passed through both houses of Parliament as of today, the House of Commons and the House of Lords. Now, there were some last-minute shenanigans, shall we say, on the House of Lords. They tried to slip in a number of amendments to the bill, 5, if I recall, each of which was completely and unambiguously slapped down by the House of Commons, where Boris enjoys a plus 80-seat majority. The amendments were aimed at things like, family reunion rights for unaccompanied child refugees, or allowing cases to be referred to the Supreme Court whenever an EU case law seemed applicable. Another involved the rights of EU citizens residing in the UK after the Brexit, things like that. And it's just so interesting, after over 1,300 days have passed since the June 2016 referendum, with betrayal after betrayal, failure after failure, the House of Commons, to their credit, had had enough. They passed a clean Brexit bill, and they absolutely insisted that that bill needed to be good enough for the House of Lords. And if it wasn't, then they were just going to be ping-ponging it back and forth until the House of Lords realized that this was it. No amendments, no additions, no qualifications. We are out of here January 31st. And so the House of Lords folded. Remember, just if you don't know, House of Lords are not elected like the House of Commons MPs. They're appointed, which is how our Senate used to work. Senators were appointed rather than voted for in a general election. And as I understand, the House of Lords is actually larger than the House of Commons, which is unique among bicameral parliaments. But regardless, the House of Commons clearly has all the leverage here, having come off that stunning landslide victory that gave the Conservatives their largest majority in recent memory. And so the Lords folded, and the bill was passed. And as a result now, the Queen, who's still an active participant in British politics, many people don't know that, but the Queen is expected to approve the bill sometime today or tomorrow. And that'll be that. And so I think Boris Johnson said it best. The UK has finally passed what he called the Brexit finish line, and Britain will be its own sovereign nation in a mere 8 days from now. So get your wine, break out your John Smith's, which was my favorite pub ale when I was over there in England doing my doctorate. Get ready for the celebration of not only Britain's sovereignty being restored, but also celebrate the fact that for the very first time since its inception, the EU is actually shrinking. What no one, including myself, no one dreamed of happening a mere 4 years ago has indeed happen. A major, if not the major, globalist institution has indeed begun to recede. A new conservative age is rising. So what should we expect next? Well, in terms of the big picture, already President Trump has promised what he calls a tremendous trade deal for the UK, right? It's on the agenda for sure. In fact, Boris has often touted the notion of a renewed Anglosphere linked together by free trade agreements and the mutual support and defense of our cultures, customs, and traditions. More technically, in terms of the details that we'll see unfolding over the next several days, the Queen will make the bill official, turning it into law. The European Parliament will meet a couple of days before the January 31st Brexit date. I believe it's on the 29th they'll be meeting to debate the withdrawal agreement. And don't worry, all sides see that debate as totally a mere formality, nothing more. It'll be approved without a hitch. The European Council President will then sign the document on behalf of the European Union, which will then in turn be signed by Prime Minister Johnson on behalf of Great Britain. And when Boris finishes the last stroke of his signature, Britain and the European Union will be officially divorced. Now, the divorce will require an 11-month transition period. This is a period where the UK will still be under the EU's customs union and single market rules, as well as having access to free movement throughout the member nations of the EU. And this is being done all the while London and Brussels trying to negotiate a mutually affirming trade deal. One of the things that's so interesting here is that there can be no possibility of an extension of that 11-month transition period. That was explicitly ruled out of Boris's withdrawal agreement. And if there is no deal reached by December 31st, 2020, then the UK will commence trading with the EU under the terms of the WTO, the World Trade Organization. And as such, Breitbart is reporting that Boris is ready to implement a Britain First nationalist populist agenda. He now has the working class of Britain firmly on his side, so we can expect to see the Tories begin to take up the interests and concerns of what was up till now a traditionally Labour-loyal constituency, very similar to what Trump has been doing here in the United States, and maximizing the newfound freedoms and national sovereignty that have been won through a very hard-fought battle by more Brits than have ever voted for any previous politician or referendum. The Brexit vote was indeed historic, a historic turnout, a historic result. It's clearly one for the history books, and I have to say to all of you here, it's been an honor, an absolute honor and privilege to have lived through it and thought through the whole process together with all of you. We started this channel shortly after Brexit passed. We started on November 1st, 2016, just a few months after the June vote on Brexit. And one of the arguments that I made, I posted one video a day every day leading up to the November 8th election. That's how this channel started. And one of the major arguments that I made was that Donald Trump would win the November election for the same reasons Brexit passed. Remember, on the campaign trail, Trump referred to himself as Mr. Brexit. Okay, that's one of my chapters in my book, President Trump and Our Post-Secular Future. One of the chapters is entitled, Call Me Mr. Brexit. Trump was our Brexit candidate. We wanted out of this globalist world order. And the nationalist populist dynamics that propelled Brexit to victory, I argued, would propel then candidate Donald Trump to victory. So this has been a real honor for me, particularly as an American, a British cousin, to report on all the developments, all the setbacks, the whole roller coaster ride over the last 3 years that eventually led to the May European Parliament elections, where 1 out of every 3 Brits voted for the Brexit Party, to the appointing of Boris Johnson as Prime Minister, and then finally to the decisive December 12th national election, which silenced virtually every single Remainer from Westminster to the BBC. It has been an absolutely amazing ride. I cannot thank you all enough for allowing me to come along for that ride. So we were all so emotionally invested in the whole process. I mean, we freaked out on Theresa May together. We mocked Corbyn together. We kept each other abreast of the latest polling. And man, did we celebrate on December 12th and the days immediately thereafter. And to all of our dear British brethren, Well done. You are finally free. May God shine on Britain, freedom's light for generations to come. Now, before you go, I did just post a video I think you'll find very enriching. Well, the EU thought that they were done with the headaches, right? Well, now Viktor Orban of Hungary is declaring that Hungary may be leaving the EU and focus instead on building a European-wide Christian democratic movement. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.